Hey guys, a few weeks ago I did a winterization on our Travato G, and I mentioned that it was basically the same as it was to do on the K, and that my mom had one, and a lot of people commented wanting a video on me doing it on the K. So she just got back from a trip, and we need to winterize it. So we'll start over here, just like on the G. We're going to start with draining the water, and I'll show you guys where the dump valves are over here. On your K, on this side right under here, you've got 3 dump lines, and they're real simple. And you've got a picture right here on the outside that'll give you the direction when the valve is opened or closed. And you just open the valves up, and those 3 of them, one of them is for your tank, and the other 2 is for your cold water line and your hot water line. So it goes on and drains the water out of your lines. We've already drained all the water out of it to kind of speed things up, so that's done. And I'll go on and put them back in the closed position so they'll be ready for next time. So we'll go on inside now and get started there. Okay, this was a 2-part project today, actually, because I've winterized this from a mom before, and the panel down here on the side is where you have to get to everything, and it's tight. You got to lay down to get to it, and to me there's just got to be a better way of doing it. So we started by today is I removed the top plate and I took all our springs off here, and then I just cut this board out here to where I can pull it out and we can get down to everything and see it from the top. And the reason I chose to cut it straight across like that is instead of trying to put a hinge and flip it back or anything, is we're braced all the way on these 3 sides here, and I didn't want to weaken myself in the middle. So we'll still be able to put it on there, have all the support, and be able to sit on it, and I feel pretty confident that it's still going to be a good structure and all. But we've drained the lines outside, just like on the G. We have to drain the truma, which is the truma itself is right back here. You've got this yellow valve right here. You'll raise that yellow valve up, and that's going to drain that water out of the truma unit. All right, once again, we've already got it drained here, so it's ready to go. So I'm gonna go and flip it back down, and we're gonna next here, you've got your winterization bypass line. What that does is we're gonna close that valve, and that's gonna stop the water that we're fixing, the antifreeze that we're fixing to run. We don't want to pump it into our truma. So down here, there's a picture of it under what directions it needs to be for winterization and for normal operation and winterization bypass. So we're gonna lift this up, and that's gonna put us in water heater bypass. So that's gonna close it off, and what it ends up being, this valve, this lever, will go up and point straight up in line with your red hot line right here. So we've got that now, and at this point we're ready to go on and start turning the pump on and put some antifreeze on it. But I said I'm getting ahead of myself. We've got the filter over here. And this is way easier with this top being off than the last time I did all this through this little hole here. We got room to go on, and let's dump the water out of here. And we're not going to dump it in the holding tank because we don't want water in there. And again, this O-ring you can actually dump it out too. So you want to make sure you still keep your O-ring there. Screw it back into position. Get me a jug of antifreeze here. Take the cap off. I'm going. You had some tubs in here. Here we go. This is pretty much just like on the G here also, that a little bit longer hose would let us just dump it straight into the bucket, but we don't have enough hose to do that, so I'll keep a little short pail here to pour the antifreeze in. And we have this line, this line right here goes back to, you have another valve that is for normal and winterization. And the pictures under here, they're kind of hard to see because they put the lines right on top of it to where it goes. And I turned the water pump on. And again, all it's done at this point basically is it's filled our lines up and it's filled this filter housing up. And again, as we talked to before, I'd said that some people had this housing had froze and cracked when it had already been winterized, and I believe the reason that happens is you still got water in there from where the lines, the water that was in the lines. So I'm going to go on and turn the water pump back off. I'm going to let the pressure back off the line, and that's a really good point. What I'm trying to make is we've already drained the water out and we just dumped water out of this line, and that water's come from what was in these lines, so I suspect I've still got water in this housing here. So I'm going to go on and break it back off. Try to do this without making a mess. And I'll go dump this out and be right back. And my mother, she doesn't drink the water out here either, so she just leaves her filter out also. Alright, get me another jug of antifreeze ready. Turn the water pump back on. Now I feel real confident that the filter housing is full of antifreeze, and from this point here now we're just going to turn our faucets on and let them run till we have antifreeze come out on the cold water side and the hot water side. I'm gonna give it a second to make sure it's good and pink. Cold and hot both. And then we'll come back to the restroom and do the same thing. I'm just going to keep it back there so it just goes straight down the drain. Got the hot water line there. Come back to the cold side. And you can see even after draining your cold and hot water lines how much water is still left in here. So it's really important to go on and run it through to get all the water out and make sure that you're full of antifreeze. How are we doing up there? Need to put me some more in my pail here. I feel we're good back there. Close that one back up. And we're gonna, all right, there we go. We're gonna run through the toilet till it's good and pink. And while I'm doing it, I'm gonna go on and run through this wand here. And then get the shower wand also. Okay. Some things are different here as far as our G. We use the same sink line as we do on the shower head, so we'll run it through our shower head. And I'm going to go on and do hot and cold on this one back here because I know I've got lines coming up here also. So we've got a good pink stream through all of that. And Mom has a mess to clean up. Okay, and there is a shower, outside shower on this one also. Now we went through the sink, we went through the shower, the back sink, the toilet, this line here. So we're all good here. And it's funny, in comments, I used to blow this thing out, and then somebody makes a comment and lets me know how ridiculously dumb I can be every now and then, to where just hold it up, open the valve, and let it go. So I don't have to blow it out anymore. So we've got that done, and that's basically it. So like I say, things are between the two are just the same. They're just in different places, and that's got us winterized and ready to go. And I hope y'all have a great time and enjoy your next travels. And we'll talk to you later.